This alpha male influencer failed to respond to court, so the court has entered a default judgment against him. So essentially, he lost. It seems like his ego has made a handful of mistakes, which as a result completely destroyed his life. This is yet another video covering the alpha male Wes Watson. I'm sure most of you guys know who he is because remember, everyone knows who he is.
I'm Wes Watson. Everybody knows who I am.
At this point, I've covered Wes so much that most of you guys already know the story, so I'm going to keep this extremely short. He assaulted a man at his gym, is facing criminal charges for it, which is already bad considering he's already been to prison before. But I feel like the main thing you need to know about Wes Watson is he has an anger problem and a lifestyle program where he essentially makes promises to clients and doesn't follow through.
Why are you so negative, Wes? Why are you a... I think it's normal to want to smash someone's face in and be a savage who good. I think it's weird to be positive all the time. I think it's fake.
Well, except, spoiler alert, he couldn't control himself. His anger problem is so bad that it has landed him in a legal situation, and he's also facing prison time.
I came up to him, and he said he wanted to fight me. So I came to the gym, and they jumped me. Like two of the guys, they're hitting me with a weight, and then he hit with a weighted belt. And they were pulling my hair, and they were beating me up.
Okay, before we get anywhere, did you physically make contact with him, or did he?
No, I didn't do it.
Are you sure? Because there's cameras and everything.
They literally attacked me. They hit me first.
And as you saw in my last video on him, you would know that Wes was too busy complaining about losing his Instagram account to focus on any of that.
Yeah, being angry is actually a blessing. Because what a lot of people don't realize is anger is the highest of low frequencies. If you can stop yourself at anger, you can just get angry about a situation and then notice the anger and then go right into exercise or something positive like helping people like this. Then you can elevate yourself back to a state of neutrality and then you can go into a state of love.
I still don't know what he's talking about. And it turns out, while he was raging about his Instagram, he straight up ignored an actual lawsuit. Like, legally ignored it. He never made a response, nor did he ever show up. And now, the court has entered a default judgment against him. That's legal speak for he didn't even bother to show up. And the timing couldn't be worse because Wes also decided to open his mouth and say some wildly racist stuff to a UFC fighter on Instagram, which, shocker, is now being watched closely by the court in his upcoming criminal case. So essentially, I mean, we have financial ruin, legal disaster, and now, I guess, social media self-destruction. So let's get into today's video. So Wes Watson, the former prison inmate turned wannabe motivation guru, has built a whole brand about yelling into a camera about personal responsibility. But when it came to the moment for him to actually take some personal responsibility himself, he essentially ghosted the courtroom harder than his hairline ghosted his forehead. Oh. My hairline is not in a position to make that joke. Well, this is my 5th video on Wes Watson, and at this point, we've covered his assault against someone at his gym, the way he lost his shit at the cops when they came to arrest him, his obsession with his own height, his freak out over losing his Instagram, and now we find out that he failed to respond to a lawsuit filed against him.
That's why I love that you guys say the 5'8", because it's so much better than all the other weird you guys do, like put wigs on me and dress me up into the that you would want, that you're attracted to. If you're ever putting a wig on a man and or you're ever putting makeup on a man's pic, you need to really go talk to a psychiatrist. You were probably touched by your parents or something when you were a kid and or a family member, and now you're all
yeah, what an all-around great guy. Wes was served legal papers earlier this year for a civil suit. The plaintiff, none other than the alleged 7-foot guy Wes Watson assaulted with his friends at Elevation Fitness. Now, in any normal lawsuit, you're expecting to at least show up, file something, a lawyer, a response, anything, honestly. Wes did none of that. According to the court records, he was officially served on May 9th, and by May 15th, the other side was like, okay, he's clearly not responding, and filed for clerk's default. That's a request to say, hey, this guy's ignoring this case, we win by default. And then on June 4th, the judge signed off. Done. Wes lost. And now, well, what happened next? The plaintiff essentially gets to go after his money. We're talking about bank accounts, assets, brand deals, and if any of that exists, they're coming for it. So let's circle back to something I mentioned earlier, that Instagram account. In my last video, we talked about how Wes was melting down after losing his verified Instagram account. He even went live on YouTube about it, calling everyone out for being, I guess, haters and getting his Instagram removed.
And that's what all the lames out there who try to silence a real message don't want to happen, but we'll just always work around it. So that's what you guys got to realize. You guys got to realize that there is always a way around everything.
So I guess while all of that was going on, the dude apparently just couldn't be bothered to check his mail or respond to a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. I guess he was just more busy responding to the allegations about him being 5'8". I'm not joking. This dude ghosted that lawsuit like he ghosted the dude who pulled up with a tape measure to measure his real height. So I guess for the guy who got attacked at the gym, he kind of just fell into a pretty big bag. That's if he can even collect anything from Wes. And that's not even the worst part. While Wes was failing in court, he was also busy picking a fight with a UFC fighter by the name of Kevin Holland. Kevin posted their messages on Instagram, including this exchange. I didn't know about this term until I saw John Bravo cover this. So apparently that toad is a term for black prison inmates. So I mean, Wes might try to argue and say, oh, I didn't even mean it like that. But, you know, his whole brand is essentially built around that he was in prison. So if anyone would know of that term, it would be him. And then obviously he used it. But obviously to not help his case whatsoever, he also offered the guy a KFC gift card. So not only is he a person, but he's just not funny nor creative at all. Dude has to be extremely insecure to be spending his time doing this in general. But to make things even more damning, like these screenshots and DMs are now public, spreading across MMA forums, Reddit, and X. And hey, I mean, if you think that's just internet drama, that's wrong. Wes also has a criminal case pending related to the altercation with the plaintiff. The fact that he's now on record spouting racist garbage could also be used in court against him, especially if the prosecutors try to argue that this could have been a hate crime. I mean, overall, just imagine being on trial for assault and giving the prosecution a highlight reel of a bunch of racist rants to play in court. Clearly, the lights are on, but nobody's at home. The dude's entire brand is unraveling, and he's doing like 90% of the work for the other side. This is just a downfall of a man who couldn't shut up. Just in general, as a public figure, why would you ever pick a physical fight with anyone? Wes essentially built his whole empire off of being real, on, I guess, yelling about self-discipline, about bragging about how he went to prison and prison made him so much better. But now we're watching that same guy ignore the law, run from accountability, and spew hatred online like, I guess that's his personality trait now. Maybe it always was. But to make things even worse for Wes, that second Instagram account that he made that had about 7,000 followers at the time, that account is now gone. So I don't even know what happened there. But clearly this guy's priorities are just insane. And here's the kicker. The default judgment is just the start. The plaintiff still gets to come after his money. So now there'll be hearings about how much Wes owes. So you have that, and then you have the criminal case, which is coming up this summer, where he might actually be looking at real prison time yet again. I mean, come on, imagine going from influencer to inmate twice in one lifetime. That's just a career path no one wants to replicate. So to sum everything up, Wes Watson ignored a lawsuit, he got hit with a default judgment, is about to lose a bunch of money, and will probably go to prison yet again. And then he did all of this while, I guess, making racist posts and live streaming bad takes. The irony? He built up a whole brand telling people to stop being victims and take control of their own lives. Yet, here he is, a textbook case of just complete self-destruction. So overall, a massive skill issue, but hey, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this video, so I definitely recommend checking it out. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.